The Community Infrastructure Levy is just another land tax. It seems that the British love land taxes. You can't have enough of them in any shape and flavour. So there's council tax, that's the residential one. There's the business rate, the UBR. They've just had a consultation on that as well. There's stamp duty, which is paid by buyers, except it isn't really, it falls on the seller. Inheritance tax is in large part a tax on land values. And there's a couple of more land taxes on the horizon. The left seem to be wheeling them out. There's wealth tax, is a land tax. They're also planning some kind of capital gains tax, so more land tax. How many more land taxes does the country need? And where does the Community Infrastructure Levy fit into this picture? It's a tax on building construction. They might just as well have taken away the exemption from VAT of new construction. I'm not advocating this, by the way. It's going to be difficult to establish what this development value is because values are volatile. There's scope for dispute. The payment is triggered by occupation, so there's more scope for dispute. It reduces the incentive to build, if anything, so how they think that's going to produce more houses, I can't imagine. And it doesn't capture land value uplift because the uplift will already have occurred when the land is zoned under the new system of automatic fast-track planning consents. And the Community Infrastructure Levy doesn't cover the operating and renewal costs of infrastructure. In short, it repeats all the same mistakes that the Labour government made in 1947 when it introduced development charges, and it also gives away this huge amount of development value because it will now occur at the zoning stage. So it's a huge giveaway. It's privatising development value, which previously there was some kind of public ownership of still. Wasn't very effective, but that is now gone. Any land value tax that's triggered by an event is a mistake because owners will put off the triggering event, whatever it is. If it's payable when construction starts, they'll delay construction. If it's payable on occupation will be delayed. They'll find a way of doing it. It's impossible to draw up watertight legislation. And there's this other problem with one-off charges. They don't cover the ongoing costs of running and renewals. And we don't need one more land tax. Really, we don't. A proper land value tax, an annual tax on the rental value of land, that's an annualised value, is described in the website where the link is below, will deal with everything that the bundle of taxes that there are at the moment don't deal with very well, but they purport to. And you get rid of a lot of running costs and arguments and disputes and lawyers and solicitors and appeals and goodness knows what else. A proper land value tax means that the higher rate charge, an annual charge, so it wouldn't be swinging, but that higher rate charge would come into effect a reasonable amount of time after the consent had been granted, say 2 years. And that gives developers the incentive to get the buildings up and occupied, either leased or rented or sold. They won't hang around, provided the tax is at a sensibly high level. And if the tax is at a sensibly high level, a lot of other taxes can be got rid of. So it's win-win. The tax will also put developers under some kind of competition, so they will be less inclined to build any old little shoebox and palm it off onto desperate couples. They'll have to provide some kind of quality to make their product stand out. So it should lead to an improvement in the quality of development. We're seeing the great giveaway of land value, but there's one little thing here that, as an advocate of land value tax, I quite like. The permitted development will now depend purely on the zoning, which means that it will be very much easier to establish the land value on a land value rating system, because there's no question of what might be built on the site. The zoning system would actually mate better with a land value tax system.